Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to here we go to We're Not the Same podcast. Another episode
Yo,
is right here, and this is episode 7.
Number 7. Wait,
Look.
where's the camera? 7. 7.
But we're, as you can hear if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple, we have a new guest onto our episode. Let me take these off real quick. But we have the honor and the privilege. I know. This is what wrestling gets you.
Hey, don't worry. If I take my hat off right now, it's gonna just be a whole bunch of hair just pops right out. So that's why I got the hat on right now.
But we are excited to have Colton Smith as our third guest onto our podcast. Welcome.
How we feeling? How we feeling tonight? We feeling good?
Man, feeling good.
Awesome,
feeling good. And we're very happy to have you. And it's a
pleasure to be here. I'm happy to be here. Thank y'all for having me here. And it's an honor to be on episode 7, which is awesome.
And for those of you who do not know, we have already reached over 100 downloads. Yeah, already in 6 episodes, which is crazy.
We're only going up, brother. We're only going up.
Only going up. But this episode, we just really want to touch on something. I don't know. Are you okay, Colton? You
I'm fixing my microphone because my face is hidden. I was trying to make sure everybody see my beautiful face. Just
yes,
kidding.
we want to see your beautiful
I
face.
should probably keep that hidden because I don't look great today, but it's okay.
No, you do.
You should.
Thanks,
yeah,
man. I appreciate
as long
it,
as
man.
Of course, man.
Let's.
But Colton, if you don't mind, we just want to talk about something. It's on the title. It's called "Built on Forgiveness." So we put you on here for a reason. I mean, obviously.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry, man.
You're
just still
good.
You're fidgeting
You're
with
good.
the mic.
You're good. I'm trying to find someone comfortable with it. I'm not good with microphones.
He's fighting with the mic, and the mic's winning.
The mic is like 5-0. It's Mike Tyson I'm dealing with. I think I got.
Just
I
leave it
think,
alone.
I think I
There
got.
you
I think
go.
I got some
You're
good. Right.
You're
I think I got
Don't
some.
leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
I'm leaving
Don't touch it.
Leaving it alone. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I know.
guys.
But
We've already
Colton,
had trouble with mics in this episode. So
yeah. But Built on Forgiveness is what our title is. And so Colton, if you don't mind, share to the people about your story, the story that you told us.
Okay. Well, welcome to my TED Talk.
yay.
Thanks. I appreciate it, fellas.
Yay.
All right. So, man, where can I start? Where can I start from this?
Wherever you feel comfortable starting.
All right. Well, let's start off with this. Let's start off with, I guess, the birth of Colton T.
Oh
Smith.
Lord.
Oh goodness.
So to time with exactly, just kidding. We're not gonna go deep into that. I was born in Trinity, Texas, which is a small town close to Houston, Texas. H-Town represent. Growing up, I lived with divorced parents at the age of 4 years old, which was kind of bad for me as a young kid. When you're young, you don't really recognize how much parents go through with divorced families, especially taking care of a kid. Like me being a kid, I was just excited. I had 2 birthdays and 2 Christmases. But when I got older, I realized I didn't really have a childhood growing up. So I was dealing with, because during the youngest part of my life, I was dealing with custody battles with my parents, who was going to get me and my brother. And at a young age of I think 10 or I was 9 or 10, I was in attorney offices more often than usual. I was in talking to people, and they were asking me trying to get me to say bad things about my family, and everything. And the thing is, I was 9 or 10. I knew nothing bad about them. I love both of them. I was oh, I love my dad. I love my mom and everything and stuff like that. So when the verdict came out, I think I was about 13 years old when the verdict came out. Me and my brother split. My brother went to my mom, and I went to my dad and went to go live with my dad. So, which put us in 2 different school zones. I went to school in Trinity. My brother went to school in Huntsville. So there was a time, 25 years, me and my brother were split, and we didn't know a lot about each other when we eventually came together to move in with each other with my dad.
Right.
But when I moved to Trinity, Texas, I was a baseball kid. I didn't like anything about football. The only thing I didn't like about football is getting hit, which is crazy because a guy my size, you think you're no, as a kid, I didn't want to get hit. I like playing baseball.
That's fair.
And then I one of my buddies in 8th grade, and we're like, "Hey, we're doing football tryouts. You should come out and try out." I'm like, I was skeptical at first. I was like, "Nah, that's not really for me. I'm more of a baseball kid." And he looked at me like, "Dude, you're like 6 foot. Go play football." I'm like, "Okay, I'll go try football." And then it turned into my career in high school, and I loved it ever since. And I remember like 8th grade year, I remember saying, "Oh, I don't like this sport. I don't like playing it." And then I just fell in love with it. And at the end, but back to the story with my family and everything. I would say when I was 16 years old and my brother was 14, my brother came to move with my dad full time.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved in. I knew nothing about him. I didn't know what he liked, what his dislikes were. I didn't know, I knew nothing about him. And we didn't really talk as much, and we were strangers. And I tried to get a relationship with him, but we felt so far apart from each other. There kind of wasn't it kind of felt like nothing was clicking between me and him.
Right.
I mean, there were times we had conversation, joke around and everything and stuff like that. But other than that, we just sat in a room. We just sat in the living room and just not said nothing to each other. So my dad was a trucker, and there would be times where he would be gone overnight, which will leave me to watch my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how to cook. And at the time, I know how to cook now, so we're good. I didn't know how to cook at the time, which I was 16 years old. My father would just put $40 on the kitchen counter and was like, "All right, go get y'all something to eat. Go get a McDonald's or something." So in our little town, we only had 3 fast food restaurants. We had a McDonald's, a Subway, and a Sonic.
Nice.
And
you've had one of the 3 today.
Yeah, I had Sonic as well.
Yeah, I did. And I feel dirty eating it. I need to go work out. I feel gross.
Yeah, I've eaten terrible this weekend. But that's
my gosh, I feel terrible. I had a really bad cheat weekend. That's all I'm gonna say. So back to the story. And when it was just me and my brother at the house, I tried making that time to spend time with my brother, try to figure out what interest we had, but it just seemed like nothing was clicking. He was more like a cowboy and blue collar type person. I was more of a athletic. I was more in athletics and history and stuff like that. I was pretty much smart and big. He was just brawn and just naive. He was always he made a lot of dumb decisions, which is this okay. I mean, right. He would "Hey, let's go snake hunting," and I'm like, "What? Why do you want to go do that?" And everything, stuff like that. I grew up in the South, so
yeah, no, that's a normal activity.
Hunting for snakes and raccoons in the backyard was pretty much our summer evenings on those days.
I would say most of these people understand.
You're from Louisiana, you probably get that.
We hunt gators.
You hunt gators.
Yeah.
You'll have swamp people. So
real, yeah, swamp people.
Swamp.
Oh, y'all got Troy. Y'all good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess from my life story, not really a lot to talk about. Really, I mean, I can always talk about the good things and the bad things, but I don't like talking about the bad things. I like talking about the good things in my life.
Good.
The good thing that happened in my life is the fact that when I moved to Trinity, Texas for school, it introduced me to football and made a career out of it.
Good.
And the great thing is I want to go play college baseball, and now looking at it, I was like, I'm more destined for football. Now I'm retired and I have the knees of a 6-year-old man trying to get out of bed. If they start clicking, we're good to go.
Yeah, that's just real.
Mm-hmm.
Most college
that's just most athletes when they retire.
Exactly.
That after effect of you stop playing and you're here come your bones trying to get back together pretty much. So I don't look back on my life and think anything bad of it. I just think that
it's good.
My parents got married early, had my kid early, and they were young parents. They made a lot of bad decisions, but I think they did a good job of keeping a roof over me and my brother's head, even though they argued a lot. My mom went through the rough of it, though. She was trying to get through school. She recently graduated, and during the summertime.
Oh, wow.
10 years.
Congrats,
she finally
That's
graduated.
amazing.
Yeah, Mom, you listen to this. I love you, and I'm super proud of you of you doing that. But she couldn't complete college because she was watching me and my little brother. So she was working from job at the job, which was kind of motivation for me, to succeed in life, because I wanted to help my mother out. Because even though she was busy and stuff, she always took me to practices, like baseball practices and stuff like that. So I always wanted to give back to my mom. And I'm a mama's boy. I love my mama. I'll do anything for her. I love my dad too, but
we love both of our parents.
I love both.
As well.
I love both my parents, but just It's more towards my mom than my dad.
I understand.
I gotcha.
Let me say, I'm a sweetheart. I got my mom's heart. So I guess that's it for that on that segment, I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry if I rant on. I am a certified yapper if y'all don't.
It's real.
No, shout out to David. We love him. We had a 53-minute episode, so you're okay.
Yeah. That
53.
you just have to be less than that.
Right.
Boy, I think we can go for an hour.
We probably could, but let's try not to.
We probably could, but we're not going to do that.
Yeah, we're not going to do that, guys. We're not going to put you through that.
But I know.
I keep messing with the mic on accident.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
As long as you're just speaking into the...
There we... Wait, no, that is...
As long as you're speaking into the middle.
It's fine. I think the mic has the mic.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're good.
We're good.
I can always edit stuff.
Yeah, but
Can we put like a green screen of like, hey, like and subscribe to the podcast? Can we get that like we're right here?
we don't chase likes.
We don't chase after that, so it's not going to be on there.
I'm just kidding.
But anyways, knowing you can ask the next question.
I was gonna say if you wanted to kind of transition into this here recently, what you've just told us, and kind of the whole name behind the podcast title. Just pick up from maybe this past summer, or maybe
I'll say
your time starting at college, possibly.
I'll start with the time at college.
Okay.
When coming to college, I didn't really know a lot of people here, and I made that mistake of not expressing myself towards people. My mindset was legit just football. Like my mindset was football. I don't care if people around here. It's not gonna matter to me in 4 years when I'm going pro. Boy, did that come bite me in the butt later.
Mm-hmm.
So my first couple years were like the kind of the loneliest years. I just focused on football, and like my freshman year, I had a heart condition, or so what happened was I passed on the football field, and it was hot that day, so I thought I had a heat stroke, like a really bad heat stroke. That's all the time I had poor dining decisions and everything. So, it was hot, it was humid, and we just got done running a lot, and I just passed out. And I remember waking up in the hospital room, and I was looking at my mom and my dad. I'm like, oh, I'm not sweating. It's just a heat stroke. I'll be back in a week. The doctor came in with a worry on her face. She was like, and I said, hey doc, what's up? And she was like, are you sure your heart's not hurting you at all? And I'm like, no, my heart's fine, I think. And she was like, have you been feeling out of breath constantly a little bit lately? I'm like, well, sometimes, but like that was when like I was trying to figure out how to get back in college shape, like get in college shape. I was in high school shape. I wasn't in college shape, I didn't think nothing. I didn't think nothing at the time. So
it's two different things if you don't know. If you're an athlete, you know.
I remember first day, like we got in the huddle. They set the playbook. It was a bunch of different words, and I remember just being so blank in the huddle. The offensive coordinator was like, "Son, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, can you like read that again for me, please? I didn't get the playbook." So back to that. I was in the hospital bed, and she said, one side of your heart is larger than the other." And I'm like, "Okay, what does that mean? It doesn't sound that too bad." I was like, "Well, if one side of your heart is larger than the other, then not a lot of blood flow is going to get to that, which can cause another episode you just had." So I said, "It wasn't a heat stroke, wasn't it?" She's like, "No, it was something else." So when it turned to just me thinking a week of dealing with a heat stroke, it turned into doctor's visits after echo scans and tests and everything, and it was dreadful at the time because I want to go back and play football, and it was legit the darkest time of my years, darkest time of the years, I would say, because as an athlete, like let's say you mess up your knee, you know what's wrong with it. You don't have to worry about that. But dealing with a heart and nobody telling you what's going on,
something as important as that.
It's haunting the back in your mind. Like,
right?
Can I even play the sport again? Because I put all my eggs in a basket of football, and I'm like, am I even able to play again?
Yeah. So
I would say, I believe in January, I was in a Zoom call with my heart doctor, and he said, "Well, after all the tests we done, and everything, I'm gonna clear you. But the thing is, make sure to control. You can practice, but under limitations." I'm like, "What do you mean by limitations?" Like, you can't push yourself as hard as you used to. Like you can practice, but if you go past a line, it can cause another episode again. So I was like, I can practice, but I can't push myself, which is something you can't say to an athlete in college. Because college like for athletes, college time is like you finding out your make and break moment. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like in high school, you find what your limit is and you push up beyond that. In college, You do that every day.
This is true.
Like, you got to push yourself every single day and see what limitation you can break the next day. Like, oh, I reached this limitation this day. Next day, I'm going to try to beat that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're getting told as an athlete, you can practice, but you only can do, well, if you go over a limit, you could pass out again, have a heart attack. It kind of crushed me a little bit. So we get into the sophomore season. I made the traveling team. I was a second string. I was behind a bunch of juniors and seniors, which is completely fine. I haven't got to play a whole season, so I'm still learning the whole scheme of playing football in college. So we get to I think it was week 4. We played Langston. I got the nod to start, and I was like, okay, let's go, let's do this. I was not ready for that game at all. A bunch of nerves were in my head, and I got beat off the line. I got bull rushed a lot. I got finesse moved a lot. The guy got past me so many times. I messed up my knee that game, and that kind of was the end of that. Then, and this is the time where we were trying to figure out what offensive line group worked, because we lost a lot of seniors that year, so we were like in rebuilding mode, trying to figure out what worked and what didn't work, you know?
Yeah.
So, excuse me.
Yeah.
No, excuse me again. Sorry, that song is coming up right now, man.
No, you're good. You're good, man.
But so we so next week we got third string, which is okay. We're still trying to figure out what we're trying to do for the lineup, and then the next week we're playing against North America. I was supposed to start that game. I had another cardiac issue. I had another cardiac episode, I would say, which caused me to miss the rest of the season. And then we were getting close to spring ball. The back of my mind was like, okay, we were about to start spring ball, and we had the depth chart for spring ball. They had me at third string again, and I was in a bad place. Third string basically didn't have a group. We just had 2 guards. That was me, me and another guy. And I was like, honestly, after looking at the cards I got right now, I think it's time to fold them. It's time to put them away.
Yeah.
You know, like when you play poker or something with your friends and stuff. If you have a good deck, you put it away.
Right.
I got the cards that I seen. I put them away. So I was like, hey, coach, after a long time thinking, I think I'm going to step away from football, which is one of the hardest decisions I had to do. Wow. I legit talked to my mom, my dad. I prayed about it, and it was kind of tough at times. But when I kind of stepped away from it, I wasn't scared about what's going to happen next, because I was like, I'm confident. I feel like I have a good idea what I'm going to do next. So we go in the summer, and I was at a time where I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was dealing with parents that were like telling me like, hey, you're not going to go back to that school because you're not a Christian. I paid you to go to that school to play football. Now you're not playing football. You're going to come close to school around here. At the time, I met a lot of good people up here. I met you guys, and I met a whole friend group, and I want to be around that.
I've only met Colton like at that time for like a week, because I went on campus days, and like I immediately connected with Colton, because just of how our personalities are, in a way.
We're both quirky.
Yes, we are both for sure.
We're both,
and we're both loud.
We're both loud and goofy, and I love it. And that's why I love Jack with all my heart. And I love Noah. I love both. I love both of you guys with all my heart. I'll do anything for them.
Yeah, love you too.
Yeah,
and I met you during October.
Yeah, you might be doing. We're getting close to a year.
Yeah,
we're getting close.
It is. It probably is a year.
I think it probably is a year.
Yeah.
Happy year friendship, buddy.
Yeah, man, look at
Happy
that.
year friendship.
Look at that.
Look at that. Praise God.
Yeah,
praise God.
Real. And then, so I knew you for about a couple of days whenever we would watch the Astros Rangers series.
I remember that. I remember I met you. We were watching the Rangers game, and I remember that one. I can't remember which Astro did it. It was like a high fly ball, like home run, let's go. And then I know who caught that.
Evan Carter.
Yeah, of course you know the name.
Shout out.
Of course you know the name.
But
Evan Carter caught that, and you looked at me, and you were like, and I'm like, I was like so mad that game, but hey, y'all beat us fair and square, so I'll give y'all that.
But and then you moved on to the Hall, and rest is history.
I kind of just spawned in the Hall, really.
It's real.
And I remember I didn't know your name at the time. I was like, oh, basketball guy. I remember you called me Batman. And I was like, yeah, this sticks. And then you asked me what my name was. I said Colton, and you asked for your name. You said no. I'm like, okay, I can remember that.
Yeah.
And that was the rest in history right there, set in stone right there.
Yeah.
So I guess back to the story of
around the summertime.
We're in the summertime. So summertime, come back home, dealing with dad telling me like, hey, you're not gonna go to school there because I paid you to go play football. Now you're not playing football. You're gonna go somewhere else. I told Dad. At first, I was like, okay, that's fine. But then I just randomly just stood up for myself. I said, hey, Dad, look, I love you and I respect you, but I'm gonna go to this school, continue my education here. I'm surrounded by good people. I'm surrounded by a good community, and my fear is leaving somewhere and like not getting my transcript hours and have to restart.
Yeah,
So
I've experienced that pain, so I completely
Yeah,
understand.
and if I lose that, there's like another setback. Like
Exactly.
I was supposed to graduate in I think spring of 25, but I have to wait another semester. I'm graduating in fall of 26. So
Nice.
which I'm excited for, which is it feels really close.
I know.
And it makes me nervous sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but back to the story. I told my dad like, "Hey, Dad, look, I love you and I respect you, but I'm gonna go back to Nelson, continue my education." And he said, "Okay, pack your bags, move out." So I was like, "Okay, cool." I didn't think nothing of it. As if I didn't have a place to stay that night. I didn't overthink. I didn't overthink it until I got in my truck and drove out the driveway. I'm like, "Oh my God, where am I gonna stay?" So I slept in my truck that night. I slept in my truck if I the next couple of days after I moved out. And my grandma took me in, took care of me on my mom's side of the family, and which is good because my grandmother is a heavy Christian, so she was trying to get me to go to church. She was trying to get me to read the Bible more often, do daily devotions.
Right.
And she always asked me like, are you doing good things, honey? Are you praying everything? The thing is, I was lying in her face. I said, yeah, I am, Grandma. I'm praying every single day. I'm doing devotions. But really, I was doing sinful acts. I was addicted to alcohol at that time. I was doing dumb things, like I wasn't a good head. I wasn't in a good headspace at that time, and I didn't realize that until I remember one night I was sad. I can't remember what I was sad about. I don't want to really think about it either. But I got drunk as usual, and I was sitting at home, and I was like, I was looking at my cards, and I was like, man, like I'm really not good. I'm really not happy with myself. And I remember being so depressed. And I remember getting in my truck, and I went to this lake that me and my buddies used to hang out when we were kids. And I thought about ending it all right there. I was thinking about writing suicide notes to you, to Jack, to Asa, to the whole friend group, to my family, to my brothers.
Wow.
And then while writing it, I just closed my eyes, and I thought about just y'all. I thought about my dad, my mom, my brothers, my sister, like the people I'm leaving behind whenever I left this earth. I wouldn't want y'all to go through that. I wouldn't imagine how bad y'all have been hurt.
I would have like lost it for sure.
I feel like for like Jack, since he didn't really get to hang out with me that much.
Yeah,
he only got to hang out with me a week, and he was talking about how excited he was to come back to come see me.
Like you were like, yeah, there were major reasons why I wanted to go back, and like not just because of like this is where I can pursue my like career in, but in my calling. But friends like you, man, it was huge. Like it was a huge deal whenever I went to that campus days that week, just getting to meet Colton and everybody else, and me connecting with Colton. I think if you would have ended your life, I would have been devastated. I would have, and we all would have been devastated. I'm just speaking for everybody, including myself. But yeah.
And I remember so vividly. It felt like it was a scene in a movie. I remember waking up. I remember opening up my eyes, like like in a movie when the character has his eyes closed and he's having those thoughts in his head, and his eyes open up like so.
Yeah.
It was one of those scenes, I would say. I like to crack jokes at sad moments, so sorry about that, guys. I like to crack jokes. Like it makes people smile and laugh. So
comic relief.
I'm a comic relief. Yes,
you do a great job of making me smile and laugh.
I think if it's like if I can feel like a tense situation, or I'm like, all right, think of a joke, saying something quick. All right, saying something funny. Whatever, just something out of my head. I will think of something out, like point at something, say something out loud, say something out of my mind. Like if I get a chuckle out of the situation, I'm like, okay, I think we're good. Let's go get some food. Let's go hang out. Let's get out of the rooms. So, I remember like saying like, what am I doing? Like I can't leave this earth without seeing y'all. And I remember I crumbed up those papers I was writing for the suicide notes, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not ending here, because I believe that I have a whole life ahead of me. Yes. I believe that through these dark times, that there is light at the end of that tunnel. I believe there is. And I believe that light is y'all. And so I remember when I come back, coming back here, I was still dealing with, I remember I think you said, I believe you said I looked off a little bit when I first came back. Like I had something on my shoulders that I was holding.
Yeah.
I sense the same
I
thing.
seem more tense than usual.
Yes.
And like I seem more like less talkative than usual.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember we were sitting in the TV lounge one random day, and I was like, "All right, I gotta get this out because it's like I feel like it's consuming me, and it's not healthy." So I remember we all stand outside, and I confessed about my suicide attempt and the fact that I wanted to change everything from my drinking abuse and everything, and my alcohol, being an alcoholic and everything. And as of right now, as of what is it? What's the date today?
4 or 5. It's the 20th.
20th.
Or-
I am 5 months sober from alcohol, which is
So proud.
That's amazing, man.
which is a blessing, and
Wow.
I am super happy. I feel more happy than where I've been the last
I
several
couldn't be
months.
more proud of you to see your growth as a human, and it's challenged me and Jack, and I'm sure everybody else in this group of friends that we have, just to be a better person and to show how radical of a change that you've had, and I'm just very proud of you.
Your story is like a miracle.
Mhm.
Like you don't
It is,
like you
yeah,
don't know it,
is.
but it is a miracle, man.
And the thing is, I don't really think about like, oh, my story motivates people. I'm just like, I'm just trying to be me. Like those times I was not being myself. I wasn't being the goofy, quirky me. I wasn't making people laugh and smile. There was like times where I was walking around campus with headphones in. I wasn't saying nothing to anybody. I would just look. If someone came up to me like, "You look mad a lot," and I was like, "I'm not mad. That's just my resting face." When really I was mad. I was mad at myself because I kept doing the dumb. I remember like last semester and like previous semester. I'm like, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna stop. I just go back into it. I remember this time I put my foot down. I was like, no, I'm stopping it. I'm actually gonna stop it. And I don't regret that decision one bit. I am happy with changing who I am, because I don't think myself as a depressed person. I feel like God put me on this earth to be a positive influence to people.
Yeah.
To make people smile, show people to be yourself and not worry about people judging you and all that. Because as a kid, I got judged a lot because of how loud and how dumb I act and how silly I am.
Mm-hmm.
And at first it got to me. I'm like, why don't you like
Right.
positivity in the world? Like, come on, it's too much negative. And I was like, it don't matter what they think. As long as you like yourself, man, people are gonna like you.
Yeah.
And that's what I did when I first met y'all. I've been myself, and y'all like me for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one bad thing I made when I first came here. I wasn't myself. I acted like the standard student athlete, the jock that didn't speak, that is focused on football, and did dumb things instead of being myself. And do I still talk to those people? I still do. I still talk to them here and there, but I don't hang out with them as much anymore.
Right.
I still check on them like, hey, I hope you're doing well, man, and everything. We talk here and there.
Yeah.
But I kind of kept myself away from those settings.
Mhm.
Like, and I'm loving it, man. I'm loving the person I am right now.
That's amazing.
I love how I can be positive and show people like you can change.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
there's no reason why you can't change, and there's always a way you can change. God will accept you for who you
Yeah.
are, and the fact that God accepted my sins, even though I neglected Him for so long,
Mm-hmm.
is just a
He for-
blessing.
yeah, he
I remember
forgiven you, man.
I remember doing spiritual saturation week we had this semester. That was like the most I ever cried. That was the most I
Very-
participated.
Yeah, I've never
Very
seen him
powerful.
like. Yeah, I never seen him
That
that
was
emotional.
like I think it was the first time I actually participated.
It changed me too,
Saturation
man.
Week.
Yeah.
but
I just remember staying after a service maybe 2 or 3 hours after, and I was just
Move to my right.
Yeah,
To your right,
move
yeah.
yourself to the right.
Oh, I got you. Sorry
There
about
you
that,
go.
guys.
There
Sorry.
you
go.
Technical difficulties. We're back. We're
We're
good.
good.
We're good. We're
There you
good. We're good.
But no, I
Thank you, Colton.
remember
No problem, buddy.
spiritual saturation. I mean, I obviously stayed for myself as well, but I just remember sitting there with Asa, and I was just like, man, I don't really want to leave. This is just beautiful. Looking at
Yeah.
you and Jack and David, like it was just awesome. Seeing a bunch of young people strive for the Lord.
I remember I was
great.
doing that, and Jack was with me the entire time next to me.
Yeah.
Did not leave my side. He was with me the entire those 3 days. Jack was always by my side. Every time I looked up, it was Jack next to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's what I love about Jack. I love you, man. Like,
Thank you.
I keep saying a lot, man, but I love you. I love you, Noah. I love
you, man.
I love Asa. If you're watching this, I love you, Zai. I love you, David. I love you, Kyle. Love you, Miracle. I love all you. I love all y'all. And
yeah, man.
and I just want to say thank you and thank both of you for showing me that being myself is always okay.
Yeah.
And even when the bad stuff I was going with, y'all still accept me for who I was, and y'all pushed me to better myself. Like these 5 months where I've been sober, it's been these guys keep me accountable.
Right.
And like anytime I felt like I was vulnerable, a lot of time they made sure I was distracted. Like, hey, let's go do something. Let's go get some food. Let's go play the game or something. Like, they did a good job of making sure I'm well taken care of.
And let me say this. I feel like the moment when you realize like God does forgive you of your sins, you have to first forgive yourself. And I feel like that was a struggle for you, because even now that you have like started a commitment of like changing yourself and like bettering yourself, I can tell you were a little bit hard on yourself. And don't worry, I'm like this. I'm the same way, because
I
I'm
think when I first changed, when we got in that first month of like changing, I was beating myself up a lot. I was like, I gotta be perfect. I can't mess up. I can't think about these things. I get these things out of my head.
Yeah, the reality is, man, is like nobody's perfect.
No.
The most perfect person in the world, well, the perfect person in the world was Jesus, and he walked on earth. He doesn't expect perfection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I feel like people, I feel like, whenever you hear in sports, like, you chase for perfection and you chase for, getting it 100% right.
Right.
To some extent that can be true, but at the same time, perfection you can't reach.
I think so. Even athletes make mistakes. Professional athletes make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
But the thing that makes the difference between a Hall of Famer and like a regular player, a Hall of Famer would do things to make sure he doesn't make that mistake again. He learns from it.
It's
like
true.
Tom Brady, man. Like I remember when I was a kid, I clown on Tom Brady. I did not like him because I was a Texans fan. I hated Tom Brady.
I hated
But
this.
But when I got
Super Bowl,
older,
he's a
I'm
winner.
like, when I got older, I'm like, man, Tom Brady is a perfect example of a perfect athlete to look at.
Yeah.
He put so much hard work and dedication in the game. He legit mastered his craft and legit perfected everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, even when he did, he still made mistakes. And the thing is, he learned from it and moved on and still was confident with his ability to play.
Good.
Like,
yeah,
that's the confidence I strive to have
Mhm.
when I was an athlete. And the confidence I have nowadays is like, I don't care what people think. I don't care if people think I'm loud and outrageous and annoying. That's who I am. I annoy people. I think the people that annoy you the most are the ones that love you. Like, that's what I believe. Like, no, I annoy you out of love. I don't annoy you to make you mad. Even though it's funny seeing you mad.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard.
You don't get mad though. It's like,
yeah.
But the thing is, like, I annoy both of y'all because I love y'all. I annoy Zai because I love him. I annoy Zai a lot because I love him.
Zai's a cool dude.
And that's how I show my love. I annoy people. Like I just want to make you laugh. I keep saying that. I want to make everybody laugh. I love it. I should be a comedian. I'm gonna get a Netflix special.
I'd tune in.
You tune in. You're getting front row seats, baby.
That's true.
You're getting
That's
front
cool.
row.
That's cool.
But
I'll take that.
hey, man. But I would say that these 5 months have been the greatest 5 months I've ever had. As a person, I feel more confident when I talk. I feel more at ease with myself. I don't hate myself anymore as back when I used to. Like, I love it, man. I love every second of it, and I'm truly thankful for it.
I think the story for you is, I already mentioned it. It's a miracle to even see that, and I think it's proof for those of you who are like discouraged, who think that they're far away from God. It goes back to his story, and it feels like a cliche to many people who have heard it, but it goes back to the parable of the lost son, where he basically asked for like to leave his father and have his inheritance early, and so he got his inheritance. He left, and he started getting wasted. He was wasting his wealth off of stuff. You know, he was doing all these horrendous things, and he got to the point where he had nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came to his senses one day when he was in like basically a field on a farm with pigs, and he said, like, I need to go home. And so whenever he went home, the story does not end with the father rejecting him. The story does not end with the father saying, oh, you're not my son, go away, you did this and this, you're done, you're like, I'm rejecting you and I'm casting you out. No. In fact, when he saw his son, he ran to him. And I feel like that story just clicked in my head whenever you were telling yours, because it was like you were coming back to God. Like you were lost, but then you came to your senses like, man, I shouldn't kill myself. I should be spreading joy in the world, like what God has called me to do. And that's when, and that was when you're like, you shifted back to God, and he ran to you, and he just accepts you with open arms. Like he doesn't.
He did. He's doing great things in my life, man, and I am forever thankful for it.
I am proud for you, man. And
thanks you, buddy. I appreciate that, man.
And for those of you listening and watching, you it doesn't matter how far you may feel like from God, as soon as you make that adjustment and you run the other direction toward him, he will put you back where you are, like where you were. It is such a beautiful thing.
Remember when I said that being you is a really good thing? I remember one day I was randomly in my room and I saw my Instagram bio. I had nothing on it. I hadn't written nothing on my Instagram bio. So I was like, let me put something on that. So the thing I put on my Instagram bio, I put this. I put, live your life to the fullest. Be brave. Be adventurous. Be you. And when I put that, I want people to see that being you is magnificent. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Being you is the best version of yourself.
That's what he's called you to be.
I would say that's all that God wants you to be, is yourself, because he created you to be you. You are the only Colton Smith. I am the only Noah Yonker. Jack is the only Jack Yonker, right? Like we're all called to be individually ourselves.
And we all have our unique things. Like you're very polite and wise, and you have a lot of charisma. Jack is he's polite as well. He's funny and he's engaging in things. Me, I like to spread positivity and be nice and do good things for people.
Yeah.
And that what makes everybody unique. You have your own special skills. You can be funny. You can tell stories very well. You can write songs. You can sing songs. You can play an instrument. Every person has a special talent. You have to find that within yourself.
We're not the same.
We're not the same. And
there we go.
Yeah.
And
2 episodes in a row, baby.
2 episodes in a row.
Like we're on a roll. Like this is crazy.
We need to make it 3 episodes in a row. Is what we need to do.
Oh well, yeah, and to close it out, if y'all don't have anything else,
I'll say one more thing.
Yeah, just say one more thing, man.
I got you. It won't be long.
Yeah,
I have a challenge. I have a challenge for all the people who listen to this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Be you. Be yourself, and just be you. If you're dealing with people judging you for who you are, don't listen to the critics. Be you. Because that's what's magnificent about you. You know why I kept saying you and everything? Because
that's good.
That's good.
You know why I keep saying you and
that's good.
You equals perfection. You are magnificent.
Yeah.
You are beautiful. You are handsome. You are many things. You are positivity. You equals you. That's who you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And either you can embrace that or question. I say embrace it.
I believe, and I believe that God sees all of us as perfect in his eyes. And that's kind of along the lines of what you were saying. But
everybody, I do believe God thinks everybody's perfect, and I think everybody's perfect as well. I mean, say
not perfect in a way, but like I get what you're saying.
You understand what I'm getting? I'm sorry if I couldn't make that clear.
Yeah, you're good.
Say,
I
it's
understand.
been a long day, a long night.
So
you're good.
So pretty much straightforward. The challenge yourself. Be yourself. Don't change. Be yourself.
Got it. Good. Yeah.
So sorry if I didn't make it sound like that at first.
You're
I was trying to make like a really like motivational quote, like Michael Jordan would say or something like that. But my brain kind of scrambled around.
I'll take the Colton Smith quote.
You're good, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
You're being you, man.
Just challenge for you. be you, be yourself.
Yeah.
There you go.
And to finish it off, like to share what like my little experience with it real quick, is like in middle school, I moved into a different school at the time. It was a new environment. There was like new people that I never met, and I was just being myself, and like any other sixth grader would do who didn't have a brain, and I would just remember being bullied for it, and I would remember just being pushed around easily, and they were taking advantage of me, and I would always remember going back home, and I was miserable, and one day I was like, all the feelings that I held in for like months just poured out in front of my parents, and like, and one of the bullies I was specifically mad at because I guess he kind of like flipped the switch because he did something to me that I didn't like. Everything that he did I didn't like, but it was just one of those moments where it just started to pour out, and it was over. And I just remember I was so frustrated, like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to make amends with that person. I didn't know how to forgive. And I remember asking the Holy Spirit, please help me. Like my parents told me to ask the Holy Spirit about it and pray about it. And they said to just pray about it. And the Holy Spirit said to give him one of my basketball shoes, like a pair of my basketball shoes to him, because one day I heard him having a conversation about how he couldn't play basketball because he didn't have the right shoes for it. And he wanted to be on the basketball team and stuff. And so what I did was I just gave him a pair of my shoes. And I'm not kidding. After I gave him those shoes, he stopped bullying me. Like we became friends.
Best friends,
And
really.
That's awesome.
like we became really good friends. And like I can guarantee you that if I see him again now, like he would remember me. Like,
Yeah.
and I'll remember him.
Yeah.
And and that's one thing about forgiveness is like, well, it's not going to happen every time, but you will I think forgiveness doesn't change the person you forgive. It changes you.
Oh,
So-
that's really good.
So like,
I think you said it better than me right there. I think.
Wow.
like forgiveness is supposed to change who you are, not the other person necessarily, because I've forgiven a lot of people. Like
Yeah.
I've forgiven my ex, I've forgiven people who've done me wrong. And there's just some people that didn't, necessarily didn't show it back to me,
Mm-hmm.
but it grew me as a person. You know why? Because like it brought so much peace in my life. It brought so much
Yeah.
joy. And then that's when I started to like, be more confident in who I was, because my happiness isn't based on somebody else's response. So, so to close it out, on the Built on Forgiveness episode, we just want to say thank you, Colton,
Yeah.
for sharing your story.
I just want to say thank y'all for having me, and
Yeah, of
this
course.
has been a massive honor. These guys are absolutely amazing. They're doing amazing things in on this campus, and I'm super proud of both of them. Noah's a really great basketball player. I think he's the greatest basketball player in my opinion. Just saying.
Oh, thank you.
If I had if I had to pick Jordan over Noah Yonker, I'm choosing Noah Yonker every single time.
I want Noah Young.
I want Noah Yonker.
That's insane.
And Jack, he's doing excellent things with
Thank you.
with his church groups, and he's doing an excellent job. Camera working, I believe, as well.
Yep.
Camera working, yeah.
SMA, Nelson Sports Network, baby.
And he's doing an excellent job, and I'm super proud of him
Thank you.
for making an
Yeah.
impact at, especially this early in his
Right.
excellent life he's gonna live, man. He's gonna do really great things. Same
Thank
with Noah.
you.
He's gonna do really great
Thank you.
things.
Same thing for
Thank
you,
you,
bro.
I
You're
appreciate
gonna change a lot of people
Yeah,
just from this
I
episode,
was
bro,
gonna say
and beyond.
Your story is going to impact quite a few people,
Yeah.
I believe.
Uh,
I
if
know
you-
it is.
And if you're watching on YouTube, if you have any questions, let us know down in the comments. We'll be happy to
Yeah, if you
answer.
have any for Colton,
I
put 'em
mean,
in there.
say-
If it's for Colton,
We'll
you
speak
know.
on behalf of
I'll
Colton.
answer as best I can. I'm busy a lot, but I'll answer the best I can, man.
But yeah,
But I just want to say thank y'all to both y'all for
course,
letting me be
man.
on here.
yeah, we love you,
It
dude.
is a massive honor, and I
It's
am
a privilege to have you.
going to say, hey, we got 100 downloads, correct?
Over
Yeah.
100.
That's awesome, and thank y'all for doing that for these
Yes.
guys. These guys are amazing, and they're doing amazing things. I'm super happy for them. I'm ready to see what this does for people. And
Amen.
I think say I've watched all the other episodes, and they have given me a lot of insight, definitely, and I've learned a lot.
Good, man.
I watched Aces recently, and that was probably a good one, and I enjoy
Really good.
I enjoy watching that one. So
Yeah, go listen to that
man.
one.
yeah, go listen
Listen
to
to
that.
every other one too while you're at it.
You'll learn some things, and I hope everybody who watched this, hopefully they enjoyed my story. I hope that, again, being yourself is already enough as it is,
Man.
because God sees us as perfection. He sees you as perfection, and God made you to be you. So just why not be you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah, and this podcast is to challenge not only us but challenge y'all. So all this that we're talking about, we're a work in progress in that.
Amen.
And that's just the beauty of life, that we can, all agree on. But we're going to wrap it up. We love you guys. Thank you again, Colton, for coming on.
thank you.
And we'll see y'all in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.